friend just told me that they lost a whole hive to the wax moths and the small hive beetle. So that kind of set a fire under me to make sure mine are doing good.
Okay, so right there, no one loses their hive to wax moth and hive beetle. The population has dropped due to some sort of queen problem, and the wax moth comes in and takes over your hive. So anyone who's already saying that they've had a loss to wax moth, they're either a beginner or they're just regurgitating stuff that they saw printed somewhere. It doesn't happen, but let's go on.
We're going to be checking pests, and I'm going to be seeing if the queen is laying, and they've got some honey stores. Give him a little bit of smoke. Oh, I just saw a small hive beetle. There's a small hive beetle right there. Just going to take care of that guy. The first one I took out, you can see they have just totally filled with honey. I'm seeing quite a...
Okay, first thing, that hive has no bees in it, and it's a double deep. And if you don't have bees covering those frames, I believe this person is in the Carolinas, whether north or south, it really doesn't matter to me. You have hive beetle, and that's your first indication that if you have no bees in that hive to cover those frames, you need to take that deep off and go down to the beginning, to the first deep, and see what's going on. Doesn't even matter what's happening up top until you find where your queen is and what's happening.
You small hive beetles, and that is concerning me. Beetles on this next. We got lots of capped brood. Here's a small hive beetle right in there too. Sorry, bee. Just trying to knock off that small hive beetle. All right, so definitely need some traps. Oh my gosh. Blue hive is like, what are you doing? Because you're banging on ours. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Oh my gosh. All right, we officially have an issue. Small hive beetle issue. Okay, this is really bad. This is not what I wanted to see at all. Look at that bee. Its wings are like totally messed up. New bees emerging, don't look good. There's been quite a few.
Okay, I'm sure for video purposes she may have deleted pieces of what she had seen. However, the fact that she pulled 2 frames of what should have been brood and definitely had some capped brood and then banged them, if there were eggs in there, you can bang the eggs out. And that's not something you want to do when you're actually looking for eggs. There are no nurse bees on these frames. That's not due to your hive beetle. Your hive beetle is now there because something else is going on. Now she's still in the top box, and that's where the brood is. So more than likely, the bottom box doesn't have any brood at all. The queen moved up, and that's where she decided to stay. But we have a lot of problems happening here. The deformed wing, that's the least of her problems at this point.
Dead ones I've seen that like hadn't even made it out yet. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting this at all. I think I'm gonna lose this whole hive. Wow. This is really bad. Oh my gosh. So unfortunately, the bottom is not any better. This is terrible. There's no eggs. There's no larva. Or it's dying. I keep seeing what I think look like mites. They're really small. Yeah, that's definitely a mite. Oh my gosh. See that little thing right there? Oh my gosh. I don't think there's anything to do. The queen could be gone. I have to check.
So, granted, she is a new beekeeper, but she's getting some, I guess, maybe some bad advice. I don't know. That hive, she should have been looking for the queen immediately. It doesn't matter about the small hive beetle. It doesn't matter the mites. It doesn't matter how much brood. It matters how many bees are in that hive and if there is a queen. To be able to even think about saving it. That was what her objective should have been. Now that she knows that she has pests, she's probably going to go ahead and treat, and that's not going to help anything. It's too late. The only thing you can do is to get out a nuke box, a small hive, and reduce that hive down to, I don't even think she had enough for maybe three frames, if that. She needed to put that hive down to 3 frames and let the bees come back that can actually come back, and those bees will clean up the hive if there's any queen or anybody left. I'm not making this video to make fun of this person at all. I think there's a lot of bad information out there. I did notice that she had front hive feeders in the front. Don't do that. That only attracts more pests. It attracts ants. Do an in-hive feeder and even a baggy feeder. And if you go to my YouTube, I have a video about baggy feeders. And just, if you're looking at the front of your hive, she may have seen, it does not look like it was robbed. It looked like they left. There was brood and they absconded. They didn't even take their honey. Why did they abscond? That should be the question. Where is the queen and why did your bees abscond if she's gone? Because there's nobody left in that hive. If you have a double deep and the bees are not on top when you crack open the lid, you need to think about taking off one of those deeps. Maybe the one at the bottom, maybe the one at the top. Consolidate your frames down into the one hive that's going to remain. Because it's traditional to have 2 double deeps, it does not mean you have to have 2 double deeps. We're progressive. We have to think for each hive, each problem as you come across it. So I hope she resolves her problem and doesn't just resort to chemicals because now she's afraid. Happy beekeeping.